Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021. One of the big headlines this evening: the son of Jeb Bush, formerly the Florida governor, the 43rd Florida governor. You might recall the election of his brother as the 43rd president came down to his state while he was the 43rd governor. And of course, their father was the 43rd vice president. And of course, in Gematria, Yale equals 43, like how they went to Yale, Skull and Bones. And Florida equals 43. And anyhow, we have the latest Bush family Skull and Bones ritual. Today is 3 months and 22 days after his father's birthday, Jeb Bush. And notice he's 68. Of course, his brother graduated from Skull and Bones in 68. CIA equals 68 in Gematria. Their father was the director of the CIA and also the 43rd president, who gave the speech on September 11th, 1990 about a new world order, free or a tear. But 1968, such a big year, such a big number for the Bush family. From George W. Bush's birthday, July 6th, to September 11th is a span of 68 days. And again, he graduated from Skull and Bones in 68. But Jeb Bush is 68 years old right now. And again, 3 months and 22 days after his birthday, the number of Skull and Bones, the Skull and Bones family, the son announces he's running against Ken Paxton for Attorney General. And again, just going to show you what a giant puppet show this is. And again, all these headlines, jokes on top of jokes. But this announcement coming today, and they're saying what's different about George P. Bush is he's the first member of the Bush family to endorse and support Donald Trump. But I'm not exactly sure that's true. But first, I just want to point out that George P. Bush is 45 years old, and he's the first political member, I suppose, of the Bush family to support number 45, Donald Trump. Remember in Gematria, ritual equals 45, Berlin Wall equals 45. Donald Trump announces the 45th president-elect on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Mr. Wall, who wanted to build a wall between Texas and Mexico, now where George P. Bush is. And don't forget that episode, that old Western episode that came out when Trump was 12 years old, about the con man named Trump who wanted to build a wall in Texas to save the people from destruction. Trackdown is the name of the TV show if you want to look it up. But look at this. From today to his upcoming 46th birthday, he'll turn 46 April 24th, 2022. From today to his 46th birthday is 46 weeks and 4 days. AG for Attorney General's 46, George Bush is 46. His uncle, who was president, was born in 1946, as was Bill Clinton, who came before him, as was Donald Trump, who's the first Republican president since Bush. And again, we'll see if there's any more big news with him on June 6th, if we get some big follow-up in this, because that'll be 322 days before he turns 46, 4 days from today. And again, just his father being 68 and this coming 3 months and 22 days later, it's just such a joke, you guys. Again, 68. In 1968, George W. Bush graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones. Again, from his birthday to September 11th is a span of 68 days. 9/11 was made the national emergency dialing code in 68. World Trade Center construction began in 68 in New York. 2001, A Space Odyssey came out in New York. Again, in 2001, you had 9/11 and the World Trade Centers come together with the September 11th terrorist attack. And remember, the original definition of terrorism is government by intimidation, and that's what we had in the United States. We had color codes and be afraid of this and give up these rights and liberties and submit to this. And it's gone on all this time, you know. The constant renewal of the Patriot Act, the expansion of these types of acts, the surveillance states, the giving up of rights and liberties for the latest boogeyman germs. And also, don't forget that in 1968, the New York Jets, that was their only Super Bowl winning season with Broadway Joe. Flash forward to 2001, the New York Jet, Mo Lewis, crashes into Drew Bledsoe, wrecks his career. Off comes Tom Brady from the bench, to lead the Patriots to the greatest dynasty there ever was until he leaves for Florida at age 43 and wins the Super Bowl in the GOAT ritual, again, one night after the Goatville killings at Yale, as we covered. But, yeah, isn't it funny that on the radio show, before this news even broke, at the beginning of the show, we were just talking about the Bush family and 322 and how, a lot of people don't know about these numbers and these rituals, and they're just so in our face. If you have the knowledge, you see right through it. Man, how long did we have to wait after we said that into the world? We had to wait like 10 minutes for a news headline. This news broke about 3 hours ago. And by the way, George P. Bush stands for George Prescott Bush, just like Prescott Bush was his, what would that be? His great-grandfather. Yeah, because Jeb's his father, George H.W. Bush would be his grandfather, Prescott Bush would be his great-grandfather, who was a member of Skull and Bones, who was rumored to have stolen Geronimo's skull, which we talked about earlier tonight in Rambo's segment of the show on TFR for Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021. Because you might be watching this 7 years from now after it's been re-uploaded because we keep getting deleted. Again, 21 channels deleted today for sharing this kind of information. But his name, 223, just like Skull and Crossbones in the same cipher, the most simple cipher. A is 1 up to Z is 26. George Prescott Bush, also 88, like Holy Roman Empire, like George Washington, George W. Remember, George W. Bush's birthday is July 6th, the 187th day of the year. George Washington equals 187. Washington, D.C. equals 187. Society of Jesus, 187. Holy Roman Empire, 88, who the Jesuits serve. George Prescott Bush, 263, the 56th prime, like Society of Jesus. And, yeah, a good day for an attorney announcement. Attorney General, attorneys got Gematria at 37 and 44, like Wednesday. And then the man he's running against, Ken Paxton. Ken Paxton equals 72, like Attorney General, like Jesuit Order. Jesuit Order also equals 153. Today's the 153rd day of the year. And then Ken Paxton's full name is Warren Kenneth Paxton Jr., which equals 293, which is the 62nd prime, like 6'2", and the news comes on 6'2". Words like Mason are 62. And Ken Paxton is 58 right now. Remember, Freemasonry, Secret Society, Rosicrucian, Solomon's Temple, Tracing Board, all these things that relate to secret societies equal 58. The family name Bush is 58. Again, if you're new here, even the name George W. Bush, the way the president went, the last George Bush president, George W. Bush, 58, what we consider the most pure cipher, the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. The name Bush 58 alone when you run the alphabetic order in reverse. And again, in that same cipher that George W. Bush is 58, that's the same cipher where Freemasonry is 58, Secret Society is 58, Rosicrucian's 58, Solomon's Temple, where all of Masonry's secrets are, is 58. Again, you got to do your tracing boards to pass your first 3 degrees, tracing board 58. And again, a Bush challenges him at age 58 by the numbers. It just goes to show you guys the chessboard is set. All of this stuff is ritual. And we're living out a script that's going to continue to go on until people wise up and do something about it. And with regards to it being the Jesuits, remember, the Jesuits have the Knights Templar cross in their logo, and Skull and Bones gets their symbolism from how the Knights Templar bury their dead. With regards to the 46 thing, Catholics 46, just like Joe Biden, number 46, the first Catholic president since JFK, who was killed at age 46 with the election 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday on the nose. But I was also going to say, the reason it's probably not true that he's the only Bush to support Trump is because Billy Bush. Remember, Billy Bush was enjoying Trump's conversation about being the proud pussy grabber who seduces women by taking them to furniture stores and buying couches for the experience of the Donald. So, just wanted to get on here real quick, share those thoughts, and I'm going to call it a night, True Seeker. Appreciate all you guys for jumping on the encore episode, but it's time to hit the sack.